So today we're going to be doing a street walk, and then we're going to walk through a local mall so that I can show you the occupancy rates after COVID and the protests. That woman that you see off there in front of me is one of the cleanup crews that the government employs. If you notice, it's fairly clean here. People drop trash all the time, but these cleanup crews go around and clean it all up all day long. Everybody's wearing masks. This is January 2020, right after New Year's. So right now we're on lockdown. About a third of the businesses are working from home. So you don't see nearly as much foot traffic as normal. So it's going to take us about 10 minutes to get to the mall, and then about 30 minutes to walk through it, and a little bit more, give or take, depending upon the pace. You see there's doing some cleaning, and I can also hear a sidewalk scrubber up here. So there's a power washer running. It's a Monday morning. Usually we'd see quite a lot more people here, but this isn't bad. Pleasant day. It's the middle of winter, but winter in Hong Kong is kind of a joke. So it's about, I think, about 60 to 65 Fahrenheit today. Some of the people here are wearing jackets and hats and all of that, but the Westerners usually are in short sleeves. Okay, you can see up there they're doing sidewalk cleaning. That was the power washer that I heard running. We're going to do a little diversion here. Sorry about the noise. I'm going to cover the mic a little bit. They're power washing off the sidewalk here. You see, they do this about once every week or two. So all that soot from the bus engines and car engines just gets in everything. So they're constantly washing. We're almost to the mall. I have to cross this here crosswalk. Those green minibuses take you almost everywhere that you need to go. And then also right in front of us there's an MTR station. We're not going to go that way. The MTR connects all of Hong Kong, so if you hop on that, you can get pretty much anywhere in the city within an hour or two. The MTR is the train. So in New York you call it subway. Most other places a train or something of that nature. We have a lot of bus stops. That's why all the people are standing around over here. So the buses usually go to places that are not serviced by the MTR. But sometimes people use the buses just because you can sit down and it's a little bit more direct. In this part of the city, we have wide sidewalks and bike paths almost everywhere, and you can see these are bike parking. It rains a lot, so a lot of the people cover the bikes. But then the bikes get rusty and people forget them. That's the Chinese restaurant. Local food. You can tell some of these bikes have been sitting here a while. That one's got a flat tire. This one's locked up. Every once in a while the police will come through, about once every year or two, and put removal orders on all of the bikes and then get rid of them. It's been a while since I did it here, so all the bike racks are full. Kind of annoying. Okay, so here's the entrance to the mall. So this is a restaurant. Most of our restaurants are limited seating now, but you can still dine in. It's just they're 50% occupancy, and then they're not allowed to do dine-in after 6 p.m. So Jollibee, it's I believe a Filipino place, Filipino hamburger place. And then the Choi Wah restaurant over here on my left is local food with a Western kind of style. Pretty good curry. This is usually the cinema, but as you can see, it's shut down. They haven't been doing movies here for a while, and that's a Japanese place, and it's still shut down. It's for Hong Kong, it's still fairly early in the morning, so that's why some of these places are shut down. Other ones are closed because of COVID. So we're gonna have to take the escalator up. There's 3 floors to this mall. And then on the 3 floors, there's about 50 shops each, maybe 100. And then there's 2 other malls connected to this one that they're called. This main one is Metro City 2, and then there's Metro City 1, Metro City 3 that are connected to this. I don't know if we're going to have time to walk through all of them today, but we'll see. So here you can see right from the get-go, this is used to be a Chinese restaurant, a very large banquet style thing, and it's closed down now. I don't know if they have a new restaurant coming there or not. A lot of times they've been closing them down and they say there's new stuff coming, but it remains closed indefinitely. The occupancy rate here has been under 70% for quite some time because of the protests and COVID. Businesses started closing and they haven't reopened yet. So a lot of them went out of business after the government subsidies ran out. And then other ones are faltering. Okay. So this place here, this is, I guess, the local version of McDonald's. It's called Super, and they have 3 or 4 similar chains. There's a chain called Cafe de Coro, and there's a chain called Fairwood that does the same thing. So they have value meals, and you can see in the picture what each one of the value meals is. So you have the fish and toast, and then you have the chicken and sausage and toast. They can call it a hot dog, and then you have Spam and toast and noodles. Most of those come with beef noodles, and you have eggs and toast, right? And then over here you have other stuff for lunch, for satay noodles for lunch. They're cheap, as you can see, thanks to McDonald's. So 34 Hong Kong, it works out to be about $4 US for a meal. So not bad. Okay, this is a bakery here. This is one of the chains called Rome, and this chain is all over in almost every mall in Hong Kong. So they have stuff that looks pretty amazing, but it doesn't taste nearly as good as it looks usually. These mango cakes, and as you can see, they're a bit pricey. It's about 25 US for that mango cake. And then here they have smaller ones for about around 12 to 28 US, depending upon what kind you get. There's a big old peach. And then they have buns over here, all different kinds of buns that you can get. And then here they have milk tarts and chicken pies. And then they have some, let's see, these are croissants and ham and Terra Danishes. So, I'm sorry, ham and tuna Danishes. So you can get ham and tuna, or you can get some croissants. These are okay, but if you you don't like a lot of bread, you won't be very happy with that. So this escalator goes up to the second floor, but we're going to cover the ground floor first. So off on the right, it's just more restaurants, more local restaurants. So that's the Menhua Binh Tang. Here, and then over here is the Hungry Korean, which is Korean food, obviously. Hungry Korean is another worldwide chain, I believe. Manning's is just the local Walgreens, if you're familiar with that. It's just a drugstore, but it also has all kinds of other necessary stuff, shampoos and snacks and things like that. And there's quite a few similar ones like that. CR Care here is the pharmacy, and also similar to Manning's and Walgreens. So Mixi and Sense is local food and Thai food. And here we have one of our many markets, the small markets. So some of these are Indo markets, so they market Indonesian food. Some of them are Philippine markets. And then over here, I don't want to miss this dispensary. This is local medicine. So if you need deer antler or dried shrimp or seahorse powder or whatever it is you want to get, they sell pretty much all that here. And they even have more rare stuff, like if you need deer penis or whatever, for what ails you. I don't know how legitimate that is, but a lot of people here believe in it, so those pharmacies are all over. They do also sometimes sell Western medicine at those too. So you can see here's another one. So this one, they have some various dried goods. You can see they're a bit pricey. And then they have some mushrooms, different kinds of mushrooms. Ooh, actually would like those. And then they got lots of dried mushrooms over here. Local medicine and foods. You see a few of them are still just opening up. The Primo Mart here, you see the doors are about half open. Your staff's going through. Seahorse, they sell furniture, beds and chairs. And that doesn't look like that's open yet. Here's another local medicine with all the dried goods again. And here is our first Ruby Tuesday in Po Lam. It just opened about a week ago. So they have coffee, and then they have all the Western food. It's pretty much a duplicate of the Ruby Tuesdays in America, but they're about 5 times the price. I'm not even joking about that. It's about 5 or 6 times as much. So you might go and you pay $50 or $60 per person to eat there. And sometimes it's even more than that, depending upon what you order. So Chatter is here. It's another bakery, and you can see the same style of cakes as they have at the first one. So these are pretty popular. They have cute little individual cakes, panda cakes, bear cakes, stuff like that. And then they also have bigger cakes. So this is another one that's closed up right now, waiting for a new tenant. Like I said, the occupancy rate is a bit low, very, very, very low. The real estate prices have been crashing here for about the last 6 or 8 months. The government subsidies ran out for most businesses on December 1st, which is about a month ago. And all those businesses were then allowed to close with no penalty. If you closed before December 1st, you had to pay back some of the subsidies. So now businesses are closing left and right, and the vacancy rates are skyrocketing. So this is similar to the Super that you saw earlier. It was another one of the local versions of McDonald's. So they have local food here, but it's the same concept. They have value meals, and you can see they're cheap. $4 to $5 US, sometimes even cheaper than that, depending upon what you get. There's the deluxe breakfast for a little over $5 US. And you can get a steak for a little over $4 US. Here's a thick cut luncheon meat breakfast. You can notice they have most of it in English and in Chinese. So for the foreigners who live here like me, it's very easy to just go here and order by number. You can see all of them have the L4, L3, L2. So you can just go point, or you can just tell them what you need. This place also offers seasonal meals, like banquet meals, that you can order for take home for 6 or 8 people. Okay, moving along. They don't have much seating in these malls. You'll notice it's not like Western malls. They don't have enough space here for seating, so if you want to do anything, you pretty much just have to kneel down wherever you happen to be. This place is about Thai. It's a Thai shop, but they mostly sell dry goods. It is Thai dry goods. And then this is Park and Shop. We call it Park and Rob. It's just one of the biggest supermarkets in Hong Kong. We have 2 or 3 big chains like this. Park and Shop, and there's another one called Welcome. And that's the equivalent, or the closest thing we have to Albertsons or Kroger or Wise's or whatever your supermarket chain is where you live. So they're not huge, but in Hong Kong they're the biggest things we have. They're still rolling up the doors here. Everything's supposed to be open by about 11 or 12. Here's another local medicine place, Yu Sang. And here's a bedding place, King Cole. Selling king and queen size beds. I have no idea how all these medicine places stay in business. Here's another one, yet another Chinese medicine place. And another bedding place. So we've probably seen, what, about 6 medicine places and 4 or 5 bedding places, and this is at least the 3rd bakery. Yeah, we have no lack of bakeries and bedding and medicine. There's another vacant shop. This one, I think they're just remodeling. It says opening in mid-January. But they were open. This shop was open up until a couple months ago, so they're just remodeling, I think. I walked past a few more medicine places and bakeries. Over here is another one. And then here is restaurants. So this part of the mall is all restaurants stacked in a row, about 6 or 8. Most of these just opened last year. They renovated this whole part of the mall and took out one of the large food courts and then put in individual restaurants. We're going to take the escalator up here. And then head on up to the next level. This level is more fashion. They try to divide it into areas. So if you want food, you go to the bottom one. Food, bedding, and medicine. Here it's a lot more about fashion. They do have some food here off on our left. Another bakery and a few other restaurants. But on the right, they have an H&M here, which is huge. And then here they have a Zara. And on the left it's beauty. So they have a Yojo, various beauty supplies, Silver Shop, beauty, Ichu, beauty. So Zara, of course, is fashion. These malls in Hong Kong are pretty much a cookie cutter design. We have the same shops in almost every mall. There's very little uniqueness about them. The layouts are a little bit different, but the shops are the same. This Markson Spencer is in most malls now in Hong Kong. It's a British supermarket chain, and they also sometimes have clothes in the bigger ones. This is a pop-up shop at Markson Spencer. It's only here seasonal, so this year it's just here for December, and it'll go away. You can see all the racks are easily moved out, and then they'll change that to something else a month after. So here's another empty shop for lease. If you're counting, you're going to see a whole lot of empties. So there's a 68 over there, that's a lingerie shop. And then there's a catalog, more fashion. So I'm not going to go up both sides of this mall. It's a little bit big. Off on the left here, we did have a Pull and Bear, which was just a fashion shop, and that's gone now. So that is being renovated. I don't know if they have a new tenant or not, but it is a huge shop, square footage wise, and one of the biggest that we would have in this mall, so it might take them a while. So these, we have touchscreen, just like everywhere else, to be able to find out what you want to get. So you can change it to English if you want, or you can do it in Chinese, and then you can pick where you want to go, and you can find it on here, and it will show you a map if you want. So pretty easy to do. Show on map, and there you go. So here's customer service. We don't need them. And here's a Pacific Coffee. Almost every mall in Hong Kong has either a Pacific Coffee or a Starbucks, or both. This one has both. And then here we have more pop-up shops. Up until a few days ago, this large central courtyard here had the Christmas displays. Those are gone now. So probably here next week they'll move something else into here. But for now, this is empty. So you can see up outside is all the residentials that are built above this mall. So they're massive. They go up about 40 or 50 floors on every side. And then if you live in those, the elevators come right down into the mall. So all these hallways off to the left and right usually go to lift lobbies where the elevators come down. So you can come down out of your house and hop in the elevator and walk out into the mall. It takes you a minute. Very convenient. And that's one of the reasons why you pay the silly rent rates here in Hong Kong. Most of those places above the mall are going to rent for about 20 to 30,000 Hong Kong a month for a 1 or 2 bedroom place. If you want bigger, then you pay more. So that works out to be 3,000 to 4,000 US a month. This is more pop-up shops here in the center. They're not open yet because it's still a little bit early. For Hong Kong, it's still a little bit early. Most of our shops are opening around 11. Some open even later than that. Right now it's a bit past 11, so most of the stuff is opening now, but not quite there yet. So over on our right here we have a McDonald's. Doesn't matter where you go, you can't avoid those. And these McDonald's here, we changed everything over to automated ordering. So you can order from an app on your phone, or you can order from the touch screens. I'll show you. So you can see there's some customers in there ordering from the touch screens. So you can go in and order. They have 4 or 5 touch screens, and then you don't have to talk to people if you don't want to. And then you pick up your food there and then leave. You can still order from the register. Not many people do. Here they have shoes and various exercise equipment, heart rate monitors and weights and resistance bands and things like that. So, and then up in front of us you can see a Starbucks coffee. But before we get there, there's a Korean Loft Cafe. small little cafe. All these have partitions now because of COVID, and nobody's in them yet. Even a Starbucks is not too busy yet, which is incredibly rare. It's very, very rare to see this place not seated full. But right now, I'd say it's not even half. Yeah. And this is sushi, Hitacho Sushi. And this is King of Dumplings. They have a lot of other stuff, but they focus mostly on dumplings. Sports House is workout fashion, sneakers, things like that, sweats, etc. Over here, Natural Hair is a beauty salon. These are usually in certain parts of the mall, not in this mall, so it's kind of rare to see that here. There's the ATMs. Most of the banks here have been, all the glass was broken during the riots, the protests. They destroyed them all. So now the ATMs are still open, but the banks, all the frontage is destroyed. So they put up wooden walls, and they don't look pretty anymore. Another empty shop being renovated. More hiking wear, outerwear. It's surprising that they think people here in Hong Kong need as many jackets as they do, but that's what they have. Here's another bakery. Hokkaido Food here, they specialize, of course, in food from Hokkaido, Japan. So they have a lot of stuff with Hokkaido meat, beef, and milk. And then they also have fresh fruits sometimes. And then off on our right here is the liquor store. So they sell liquor here almost everywhere. They sell it in the supermarkets and in many shops, but that shop there specializes in hard liquor. So they have almost everything you could want if you're a drinker. G2000 here on the right is fashion. You see they just sell typical men and women's wear. And then a quintessential part of Hong Kong, Loft jewelry. We have, of course, the typical Hong Kong jewelry, all the garish gold, which you can get for weddings or for good luck or for investments. These jewelry stores are everywhere. Here off on the left there's another one, and then off on the cross there's another one, and then off in this corner there's another one. So every direction I'm looking, all you see is jewelry stores. This is the entrance to the mall here. So these are the high-end shops, and they're all taken by jewelers. Here you can see they have the gold pigs, and then lots of other gold wear there. So wristbands and bracelets and other things for weddings. These ones you give during a wedding to the mother-in-law, and then she'll have 6 or 8 for good luck. You can see they're pretty cheap actually, fairly affordable. I don't know what the quality of gold is or anything like that. You'd have to go in and ask, and then a lot of them were more than happy to haggle on the price too. I would never buy jewelry from these shops, because the fact that they're holding all the highest cost real estate in this mall certainly tells you what the profit margin is. And here we have some takeaway dumplings and dim sum, and then we have a 7-Eleven. East is another fast food takeaway place here in Hong Kong. So Eat East, we have salads and other local foods already pre-boxed, like TV dinner kind of things. And you can buy them and take them home. So this is heading down to where it connects to the second mall. So if you go left here, you go down to the MTR. That goes down to the MTR, but we're not taking the MTR today. We're going to go over to the Metro City Mall, Discovery Mall. So this is all considered to be part of the same mall, but it's the second branch. We're doing some work on the windows there. So we're walking above the road right now. See the traffic down below us. And then there's a taxi stand there, and that's the front of the MTR station. Yet another new bakery just opened here. This one has been pretty popular. Usually there's long lines at this one, but they just opened it this early, so it's not too bad yet. They have a huge selection at this place. They still haven't rolled all their shelves out yet. So the way it works is you just pick up a tray and get the tongs, and then go through and get whatever you want. Most of the buns are around $10 Hong Kong, which is about $1 or $1.20 US. So some are bigger. There's some baguettes that are a little bit bigger. Some are smaller. You can see there are savory buns. Like that one has a hot dog in it. This one is a raisin, coconut bun, cream bun. Up here they have mango buns, so mango cream buns. And then they have some sweet potato buns, corn and mushrooms. And down here are curry buns. You can see curry beef buns. Here they have some shell pasta. And then luncheon meat buns, coconut rolls, mushroom chicken buns, and down here pizza buns. Recognizable. Here, chive and ham buns. A little bit of everything. More of the hot dog buns with cheese on them this time. And down here they have cheese soft buns. And then up here, red bean pineapple buns. They're not actually pineapple, it's red bean, but they call them pineapple buns because of the look. And then over here they have just a lot of different kinds of cookies. A never-ending supply of cookies. All these are like shortbread cookies. You can see different flavors: chocolate, raisin, walnut, coffee, oatmeal, sesame, mocha, green tea. So we're not going to get anything today. So this place, the big seller here is the egg tarts. So for $6 Hong Kong, which is about 80 cents US, you can get egg tarts. They're pretty good. If you've never had an egg tart, you should certainly try some. Here, they're kind of going out of style, is a watch shop, watch and clocks. Still a few of them around. Over here is a Circle K, which is another equivalent of 7-Eleven, and then yet another mayonnaise. Up in front of us is construction, so I'm not sure what's going to be there yet. There was nothing there before. This was just an open area, but they're trying to use all their space that they can, so that's what we get. There's more open shops here off on our left and right that are looking for renters. See, mostly it's older people today because it's during work hours, so the younger crowd is mostly working. These Bestmart 360s are mostly candies and prepackaged goods, nuts and things like that, and dried goods that you can buy in bulk. A lot of people come here to get the mixed nuts of various sizes. And they have coffee and even some liqueur if you want some famous grouse. There's some of the banks and the police. The police aren't seen here that often, but they do their rounds. The police station is just one street over from here. The local police station has a few hundred officers stationed there. Lately, most of the officers have been, for about the last year, they've been running patrols in big groups to stop protests. But now the protests are gone. Ever since the security law was passed, the protests pretty much have went away. So the police now are just back to walking the beat and writing traffic tickets. They've been writing traffic tickets at an unprecedented rate, trying to keep busy since they don't have the protesters to pump up their overtime anymore. This is Metro City Phase 1 with more bakeries over here. The A1 Bakery, which is another chain that's all across Hong Kong. And then over here, an MFS Natural, which is, they sell juice and fruits. Any of these fruits and vegetables that you see, you can buy in bulk and they'll run them through a juicer. Mostly it's foreign stuff, it's not from Hong Kong. You see they have Japanese strawberries that are as big as my hand. Quite huge. And then cherries down there, all different kinds of cherries, grapes. There's some dragon fruit and other things, kiwis, blueberries, a little bit of everything. Here's the Fairwood, which is another one of the ones that have pre-done meals that you can get. You have to go here and stand until you're scanned, and then it'll beep, and then when it beeps you can step forward. So I'm not going to walk in here, but you have to wait until it scans you from afar and shows that you have a temperature that's within range, and then you can walk in. A little silly on that one. Up here, there's a Bank of China that has the windows broken out, so they put up the cardboard walls or wooden walls. So this used to be all glass here in front of us, but it was shattered by the protesters. They destroyed pretty much every Chinese bank that they could find. And then the Victorian Harbor restaurant here is a seafood restaurant. And if you look back in the back there, you can see some fish tanks. And they have big grouper and other stuff in the fish tanks. And here off on the left, we have yet another jewelry store with gold, lots and lots of gold. And you can see for every occasion. Here you have the Beverly Hills Salon, and there's yet another bank. That one has a locking front gate, so that one wasn't destroyed during the protests. Okay, we're going to head down to the lower level. Here we have some pet supply stores off on the right. And then we have some electronics shops and some glasses shops. And then Japan Home, which is kind of like a department store. Off on the left here is one of our local favorites. It is a candy shop. So these candy shops have a little bit of everything. And when you go through here, you pretty much just grab a bag and then you fill it by weight. I can show you. All these loose candies and dry goods. and you just grab a bag, and then you just fill up the bag. So each one of them is by weight. So you can see this was $58 per ounce or something, I don't know. And then you just fill it all up. So grab one of these bags, and then they'll take each individual thing and then put it into the bags, and then they'll go weigh it. Over here they have the $38 stuff, the cheaper ones. And then they have larger packages if you want the bigger packages. And then here they have the per 100 grams, all the candies, the sticky candies and sugar candies. You can just fill up bags with every different thing. So you get some tongs here and you just open them up. And then get it whatever you want. And back in the back they have drinks, and here they have some potato chips, different kinds of local chips. And over on the side here, this part is really interesting here. These are all dried goods, like dried fruits. And some are dried and salted, some are dried and sweetened. So some are dried with spices on them, ginger and things like that. So you can buy the prepackaged ones here, or you can get them from the bins here with the spoons, and then just scoop out as many as you want. Various kind of dried chips, and all kinds of cookies and cakes, nuts. These, I haven't even tried most of them. I don't even know how they taste. I mean, some are obviously dried fruits. Other ones I don't know. So I've never really come through and tried everything. That one I can see is probably prunes, and then some of the other ones look like some sort of raisins, but then some, I don't know. This one looks like kiwis, but this is heavily sugar. So I would never eat that unless I want to be dead from sugar overload. That one looks like some sort of a beef jerky. You know, some of these are spices. This one is a licorice that they sell for cold and throat medicine. I had to just buy it just to eat, but they sell it for cold and throat medicine. Okay, we're gonna head on out of there. Now here's another empty shop. And then down this hallway is a few more restaurants and real estate agencies. Here we have a video shop. All kinds of internet related things, routers and things like that. And then we have a 759, which is a dried goods store. I think it's Indo. They import most of the stuff from Indonesia, I think. Really popular here in almost every part of the city. And then over here we have a Caesarea, which is Italian food, supposedly Italian food, the local version of it. And then there's a Vietnamese place over there. And then here on the right we have a Moss Burger, which is Japanese hamburgers. Well, this is the Japanese version of McDonald's. It's just fancy hamburgers for the most part. You see they have a Wagyu burger there, so if you want a Wagyu beef burger. And then they have all kinds of other things that you can get either as a Wagyu burger or as a normal burger. A fresh burger. I don't know if that is something. I don't know. They have a chili dog. And then you can get the value meals the same way with the extra fries and drink. Pretty much the same as you would see at McDonald's. Okay. We're all done with our walkthrough of the mall today. So we're going to head on home. We'll probably do a haunted house walkthrough tomorrow, and then we'll get that uploaded a little bit later this week. So you can expect to see that about a day or two after this video goes live. So the haunted house is actually a haunted hospital from World War II. It's got a very scary history with a lot of Japanese soldiers doing mass killings there and things like that. So it's interesting. The government has preserved it and kept it pretty much as is since World War II. So now they have plaques up to commemorate the place. We're going to cut through a small wet market here on the way back to the house. There's a park here off on my left for kids and adults. You can see there's some kids' rides over there. And then there's some seating for anybody who wants to go and use it. So we're heading up here to Verbena Heights Wet Market. This used to be very dirty up until a year or two ago. It was dirt floors, and not especially high-end, but there's been a company going all over Hong Kong and buying up those old-style wet markets and renovating them, putting down wooden flooring and better lighting and making it look nice. So they did that with this. The prices went up a bit, but at least now you don't have mice running around chewing on the food, so that's a big plus. Here you have a newsstand. They sell papers and drinks and things like that. Cigarettes if you need that. Here you have fresh fruits. I've been waiting for rose apples, but they're still not in season. And they have dragon fruit here, you can see, and then they have some apples, kiwis, bananas, oranges. Off on the left here, they have some taro root, and then they have some onions and potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, huge carrots. That carrot's bigger than my arm. And then some garlic. And there they have some fresh corn. Corn on the cob still. Here they have their version of cucumbers, which are a lot smaller than what you see in the US. And they have tofu. And then here they have eggs that you can buy. Some of them are chicken eggs like these, and then some are something else. I don't know what they are. And they have broccoli and eggplants here, if you need some eggplants. Lettuce, bok choy, which is a version of leafy greens. There they have some chestnuts, and then they have some peppers. Spring onions. There they have some celery and green beans. This is their version of winter melon. There's meat. This is mostly pig. You can see you can still have the hooves on it. They'll cut it up here right in front of you if you want. And then over in the distance there they have fish, but right now the fish tanks are still empty. Here they have chicken parts if you want chicken feet. So you can see there's chicken feet there in front of me. Pretty popular local delicacy. And then frozen chicken. Some of this is imported, some of it's local. And then off in the distance here, Tokyo Easing is mostly Indo or Philippine food. And then here's some loose fish balls and other kinds of balls, jumbo fried fish balls, black pepper sausage balls. And they have some beef and other things cut up, some chicken. Here they have, this is one of the cheapest places in Hong Kong. So this is why a lot of the helpers come here, the domestic helpers come here. They have these with different kinds of seeds in them that are quite yummy. So you can see they kind of move around. Some of them have the coconut chunks in them. This is one of the places where you can find a little bit of everything. Here's a lychee drink. These are really good too, but they are heavy sugar. So lychee are about the size of a grape, and you peel the outside off of them, and then the inside is a soft white with a texture similar to an orange, but it's a little bit wet. And they're really tasty. And then here they have spices for the helpers. A lot of the helpers like to cook with spices. You can see, and then they have dried goods up on the roof there. And then over here, they have coffee from everywhere. Lots and lots and lots of coffee. Okay. Well, that's all we're going to do here for today. So I'm going to pick up some goods here at the dry goods shop, and then we're going to head back home, and we'll see you all tomorrow.